Hi everybody, I'm Steve Olson, the assistant manager here in the repair department, and I've been asked today to show how to restring a classical guitar. There are any number of ways to do it. I'm going to show you the one I use the most. I'm going to be using a set of the D'Addario J45s. The strings come with little tags on them that tells you which string is which. So that's pretty handy. They need to be tied onto the bridge because they have a silk core so that the strings stretch with time, and they need to settle in before they'll hold a tune consistently. Typically the way I start, give you a couple of options here. This end of this particular string has a more flexible winding, so it's a little easier to tie. Not all strings are made just exactly the same, so that this one has that, so it makes it a little easier to get through the bridge. It goes through like so. This wind I usually pull up so that the flexible part is where the string bends. Hard to keep a hold of, a little springy. So if you hold it here, then I tie. I do 3 times just to try to be a little extra safe. 1, 2, and then we'll do one more. Pull that through, then using this hand to pull the string tight, it sort of settles the winds across the back of the bridge and leaves a pigtail here. Typically when I do this, I tie all the ends together so that it helps reinforce the strings. Makes it a little harder if you're going to be trying to replace them one at a time for some reason, if you break strings. So not everybody chooses to do that. You could stop here and trim the end off, or you could loop it through and continue down the back of the bridge. Up here, I usually line up the holes so that they're on an angle off the back of the nut so that you can feed them through, feed the string through, and bring it back up such. Again, I usually pull the string taut, mark it with my finger at the end, and then back up at the edge of the nut, and then back it up the distance to the first fret, just so that it leaves me a consistent wind. These are a little, you need to tie them on the tuner typically, so I'll go under the string and then back out toward the side of the headstock that the tuner is on, and then pull that tight so that if you can see how it causes the knot here at the tuner, so it locks it on in pretty good shape, and then just wind to the inside of that typically. Get that out of the way. You can just sort of fish this out, leave a little so that it seats, and then I usually go the length of the string at least just to sort of pull it up and make sure it's okay before I'll use a tuner. And then continue from there. So for instance, the A string, if I did this and tied them all together, you go through the hole, pull this through, and then you can tie this the same way. And then that locks all the ends. Typically, then you've got these all tied together is a good starting place. Then when you secure the strings, you can tie them on at the top and tune them up and stretch all the strings out. If you have any questions, just let us know, but that's one way to get your classical strings tied on. Thanks.